the solar system, and this is the place that you live. The solar system is the system of planets that orbit around the sun. Solar meaning the sun. People didn't used to think that the planets orbited around the sun, however. They thought actually the Earth was at the centre of the solar system. This map shows what they thought. They can see Earth at the very centre. Geo means Earth, and centric means, well, at the centre. So the geocentric model of the solar system had all of the planets orbiting around the Earth. And you can actually see Mercury here, Venus. Then they thought the Sun was the next one. Then Mars, then Jupiter. They believed the Sun and all the other planets and the heavens, that's what these are, all orbiting around there. There's God, Jesus Christ, and all of these cherubs. They actually believed that they were orbiting around the Earth. Until technology improved, and this gentleman, Galileo, in Florence, a picture of Florence behind them in Tuscany in Italy, invented the telescope. It's an optical telescope. It's made of two lenses, and it's made into a tube with like a cloth that he's covered in a glue, a resin. And with that he was able to study the objects in the night sky much more closely and much more carefully. And he actually confirmed what had only been kind of theorized before that. He confirmed Copernicus's idea that actually maybe the sun was at the very center. The Greek word for sun is helios, and so we get the word heliocentric solar system. Helio meaning sun, centric meaning, well, again, at the center. And now you can see that the planets are all orbiting around the sun, and Earth is just one of those planets. Incidentally, in this little map you can see how they worked out, well, the different seasons and the different times of day for the different parts of the Earth. Very, very smart gentleman. Well, you'll probably be familiar with the mnemonic. My very easy method just speeds up naming planets. And that's the way to remember all the names of the different planets. Now, I'm not going to go through the names of the different planets here in this video, because actually that's for you to do. That's your project. Maybe you could actually make a map, or maybe you could make a video yourself, or maybe even you could make a model. It's very hard to make a scale model, but you could try. I think you're going to have to think, well, will I do the orbits in scale, or will I actually do the planets to scale? But let me just give you the basics. Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, the first four, are called the terrestrial planets. They're all made of land, terrestrial. Then there's actually a big asteroid belt between the terrestrial planets and the next four planets, which are much, much bigger and are all made of gas. So we call them the gas giants. They are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. And maybe you already know, but P, the end of the mnemonic, planets, or Pluto, has been kind of downgraded. It's no longer a planet. Well, it's not really changed, but they've changed what it's known as, because they discovered more objects out in the regions of space, even beyond Pluto, and they called them dwarf planets. There's far too many of them to really just include them in what we call planets, and some of them are far too small, and they have really eccentric orbits, strange orbits. Even the solar system doesn't stop there, with at least 4 more dwarf planets after Pluto, and maybe many more that we haven't even discovered yet. But there are also comets that we see periodically every 70 or 80 years here on Earth, or some that come more often, or some that come a lot less often. They are like shooting stars in the night sky. Or how about asteroid belts? I've told you about one, but it's not the only asteroid belt in our solar system. There are also lots of man-made objects. We've sent a lot of objects out there into space, some of which are still orbiting around the sun, some of which are orbiting around other planets, some of which have landed on other planets. But they're out there, so we need to include them. And moons, many, many moons. Well, I think that's for you to find out. There's loads to be interested in, in our solar system. So go get some details, get fascinated, and, well, if you've got the time, do share it with me. Let me see what you've actually been up to. Or if you're in school, then bring it in to show your teachers. Well, thank you very much for listening.